Bill Schnee and some other great stories on working with Barbra Streisand and Marvin Gaye. I'm John Beaudin from Rock History Music. I like the story about, and it was, I didn't put who it was, if I remember correctly, it was Streisand, where she was, Richard and his wife were massaging her arms and legs, and you were asked to join in. That was, you didn't give her the name Babs, did you? Was that you? Because
No, I'll come back to that. The massage thing, which it sounds salacious. It wasn't. I had just started recording her as an engineer, and first of all, this is very, very early on in my career. And
how old would you have been then? How old would you have been, you think?
I would have been 23.
Yeah, 20s, right? Yeah,
23, maybe 24, depending on the time of year. You got to understand that I kind of came up in a rock studio, Richie Podler's American Recording, and I was kind of, that's mostly what I had done, that kind of stuff. And so this was by far the best singer that I'd ever heard, and excuse me. And as I said in the book, here I was holding a knob. It was connected to 20 feet of wire that went into the microphone that this unbelievable songstress was singing. And what an incredible private concert you were getting. A concert that might even include a swear word now and then. But we were she was taking a little break after doing a bunch of vocal work. And I went to the commissary to get a drink. And when I came back, she was laying on the couch in front of the console, and Richard was rubbing one of her arms, and Richard's wife was rubbing one of her legs. And as I walked in, Richard said, "Bill, come up and grab an appendage." And so I went up and took an arm. It seemed like the right thing to do, and did that. Yeah, so that's that. But the Babs thing comes from. It actually came from who was that comedian on Laugh-In? I'm a little before your time with Laugh-In, aren't I?
I used to watch Laugh-In. No, I watched Laugh-In, but I would have been in my 11 or something when Laugh-In was on. I was allowed to watch
something. Gary something. His name was Gary something. Anyway, he was a disc jockey on a local radio station at the time.
Oh, Gary Owens. Gary Owens.
Yes. And when he would play a Streisand cut, he would say, "That was Babs," as she is seldom called. And so when I was mixing You Don't Bring Me Flowers, the second one, she recorded You Don't Bring Me Flowers on one of her albums. I recorded Neil Diamond recording on one of his albums. And then some enterprising DJ took the two and cut them together and made a duet out of it. And Columbia Records, who had both of those artists, said, that's a good idea. And so a record with the two of them was made like that. And when I mixed it, on the recording console, where all the faders are for the different instruments and voices, when it came, after the strings, piano, whatever, it was Neil, and I wrote Babs. And so when she came in to hear the mix, I sat her down in my chair so she'd be right between the speakers to hear it the best you could hear it. And she sat down and looked down and went, "Babs." And I said, "That's you." She chuckled.
Wow. Marvin Gaye's live album, like I went out and I thought I've never heard it, and Marvin Gaye wasn't in my lane, even though I played him through the years. I know a lot about him, the unfortunate ending of that, and amazing.
Yeah. So I got called into Motown by Suzanne DePass, who was Berry Gordy's right-hand girl, ran most everything once they moved to LA. And she told me that Marvin was going to start singing again, and there were going to be a live concert. He hadn't sung for a few years when his singing partner passed away. It really hit him hard. So we're going to do it, and he hasn't sung. We don't know what it's going to be like, but there's a very good chance that it'll be great, and we'd like you to record it. And I said, okay. Now at that point, I had mixed several Motown albums and never gotten credit. All I ever got was special thanks, Bill Schnee.
Why is that?
They decided they wanted to promote their own engineers.
Okay.
So it said engineer, whoever, and then somewhere else, special thanks, Bill Schnee. And my mentor, Richie Podler, the first studio I worked in, he had told me that credits are more important than the money you make on a gig. He said, the money you make, you're going to spend, it'll be gone. But the credits are going to get you the next job and so on down the line. So it's, they're important. So I wasn't very happy about that, needless to say. So I said to her, okay, I just have 2 conditions, please. And she said, sure, what are they? I said, well, I'd like to have my name listed as engineered by Bill Schnee. And she said, okay. And I would like a shot at mixing it. If Marvin doesn't like my mix, he doesn't have to use it. Don't have to even do the whole album. Just let me do, 3 or 4 songs, show him what I can do. And if he doesn't want to continue, fine. She said, not a problem. Well, red and black in Vegas, 50-50 minus 1 extra thing. Yeah, I only got 1. I only got the credit. I never got a shot to mixing it. Until about 20 years later, one of the most bizarre things, Barry had sold Motown. They had a girl that ran what they called the special products division. And she called me up and said, there's this Marvin Gaye live album from Oakland that you did 20 years ago. I said, yeah, sure is. He said, well, I'd like you to remix it. And I wish I would have asked her why, because I've never heard of a successful album, many years later getting remixed. But I was thrilled to do it. Needless to say. And so over came the tapes. And of course, your handwriting doesn't really change. I look down and there's my terrible handwriting. And your sense of humor doesn't change either. Point being that on the tape box, we have what's called a legend inside the box. And that has all the instruments, the kick, snare, guitar, piano, whatever. And they had this unbelievable R&B band, just as hot a band as you could get, with a horn section and some strings. And in those days especially, the idea of getting any kind of a string sound with that much energy in the room, with a kick-ass drummer and a horn section. So I had on the string tracks, I had an asterisk, and the key on the bottom was, the asterisk was good luck. And but I did get to mix it, and I do believe that my mix was better than whoever mixed it the first time. Unfortunately, Marvin had already passed away, so he never got to hear it. But I thought that was so unusual to remix an album that had been such a good album, such a successful album.
Why didn't she want to do Stony End, by the way?
I think if I remember correctly, she thought that that the people wanted to hear what she was more noted for. And I know that she was very afraid that she wouldn't remember the lyrics. And so we did find them written on the stage. And I thought Richard got down and wrote them on the stage, the lyrics, so that she could, as she was singing, she could walk around and, look down, and and there would be key phrases that would jaunt her memory if she did forget the lyrics, which she didn't. But yeah, back to Marvin, I did the sound check. He only sang he did just the first couple of songs on the sound check to save his voice. So when the sound check was finished, I came out of the recording truck and walked down the stairs, and there he was, and looked up at me, and I said, "Oh, Marvin, I'm Bill Schnee. I'm recording your concert tonight." And he said, "Cool. You got any gum?" And I was an avid gum chewer then, and I gave it to him, and I said, "Are you nervous?" And he said, "Maybe a little." But you'd never know it from that night. I mean, he went out there and just killed it, and did an amazing version of Distant Lover also, which one of his big hits.
We'll have more from Bill Schnee coming up in 3-4 days. His new book is out, Chairman of the Board, The Soundtrack of a Generation. There'll be links in the description of this video and to his website where you can order the book. Make sure you comment on our video, subscribe to our channel, and share our videos. Also, if you want to make a donation to the site, there's a link at the very top of the description. You can also pick up a t-shirt. I'm John Beaudin. Take care of yourself.